talk a little Cleveland Guardians baseball. They just swept a 4-game sweep of the Detroit Tigers, extending their lead in the AL Central. Zach, we talked about it yesterday, but they are just continuing to stack wins in a division that, frankly, doesn't look all that impressive.
Detroit's standing there saying, please extend our misery. And the Guardians are saying, okay, we'll do it. It didn't start real well yesterday. And like Cantillo was a little over the place. Casey Mize was mowing them down. And then the Guardians hit. They hit just enough. They just keep finding ways. So, G, we talked about the young guys starting to hit, raise the ceiling. The starting pitching is good. The momentum is obviously here. What is this, 4 series wins in a row? And this one obviously being the most impressive. So I think it's too early to dwell on the standings, but I don't think it's too early at all to look and say, hey, this team's in a really good position to stack these wins, create some space, and then keep going as they figure out what they're going to need to do to be real AL contenders.
Your boy Bailey got off the nice little home run.
He did.
Well,
you got to quit if you give up a home run to Patrick Bailey, right?
Hey, listen, is he turned? That's kind of nasty too. It's so funny they traded for a guy that's just like, they're like, listen, do you have power consistently? No. Okay, we love you, bro. Come on in. Because now he hit 1 or 2, you feel good about it because he wasn't supposed to hit none.
491 OPS is horrific.
By the way, it was 258 entering yesterday's game.
That's impossible.
So he almost doubled it.
He almost doubled it off 1 home run.
That's crazy.
He's now 2 of 18 as a member of the Cleveland Guardians.
That's funny.
Oh, boy. Listen, Cantillo's pitched very well. I mean, the Guardians, I don't know, man. If I can just transfer some of this to, like, my other teams, I'd be good, man. Like they always seem to pleasantly surprise where they get contributions from guys who you don't really naturally assume they're going to get it.
Right.
But the cool thing about the Guardians is there's a sense of, hey, it's a youth movement. And you always forgive. You're more forgivable if you have young guys that are trying to do some things. And if the young guys are actually contributing, going through the growing pains, and they're still winning games, it just makes it a lot easier to watch and to get into the squad.
Yeah, I think it is very meaningful to sweep the Tigers. I don't care if it's May. When you put what's supposed to be the best team in the division 9 games back, and they're still without their best pitcher, that's a deep hole to come out of at any point in the season. So, yeah, that's meaningful. That's a powerful punch that they just threw this week. Chicago, I don't believe in at 3.5 games. They're going to fade. So the Guardians have full control of this division right now, and we're not even to June yet.
When you look at it, I don't want to get too far ahead, but, is there a thing of saying, okay, well, it looks like the rest of the division isn't where they're supposed to be. You look at the White Sox, they don't scare you. The Twins and the Royals don't scare you. And Detroit is scuffling right now. Is there something that you look and say, okay, what do the Guardians need to shore up in making sure that they can kind of push this league and give themselves some cushion as, the All-Star break comes up?
Well, I think you're worried about the bullpen just being used so much early. And that happens early in every baseball season, right? But yesterday they didn't have their guys because they've been overworked. They end up, having guys in different roles and they contribute. I think you really like that Martinez is playing great. I think you obviously like that maybe Bazana was up ahead of schedule. He's starting to hit the ball well. So I think you really like, as you said, G, that your young guys are doing it. You do need to figure some things out. You're not good enough offensively, but you have the wiggle room. Created by being in this bad division and created by having some momentum right now to buy yourself some time to make those harder decisions that ultimately could affect your ceiling.
Jason, we heard so much about DeLauder and Bazana. We've heard a lot about those guys for a long time now. Have they been as advertised as you? As you heard their scouting reports and them being top prospects, from the small sample size that you've seen, are they better than advertised about where you thought they were? Or, hey, I think they're kind of even par.
No, they are. I think that they are what you hope they would be. The only question with DeLauder was always health. And, I mean, knock on wood, 2 months in, he's still upright and playing relatively regularly almost every day. So, yeah, I mean, that's if he's healthy, he's going to produce in the lineup. Bazana was a little bit more of an unknown just because you just weren't sure. His minor league numbers weren't great. He got hot here at the end right before they promoted him, but he fought some injuries last year. But when you take a guy number 1 overall, obviously you have some high expectations for him. And to be hitting around 300, he's shown some power. He's got to get better defensively. We've seen some some lapses on the defensive side, but he's only a second baseman. I think he's been as advertised. I think both of those guys have been everything that you want them to be. There'll still be a slump. There'll be a lull. It's natural with rookies. But those two in particular, I think, have elevated this lineup into a legitimate major league lineup.
Well, I think any sport, any situation, right? Your identity, what do you lean into? With this organization, it's always going to be the starting pitching.
Yes.
Bybee looks a lot better than he did 2 weeks ago. Ciccone looks a lot better than he did 2 weeks ago. Messick's been awesome, right? Cantillo delivered yesterday. So you feel really good about that. See what happens with the rest.
When you talk about, like, what do they need, I think that's a little premature. I don't know what they need. It's May 22nd. You got 2 months of the trade deadline. So you don't know somebody's going to get hurt. If a weakness will show, you can always use a reliever. Always. I don't care how good your bullpen is. You can always use one more reliever. Maybe a starter. Maybe. Although the prices on starting pitching is so high at the deadline, I doubt that they would do that. You can find another outfield bat. But, I mean, the lineup has held its own. The lineup has not been an issue this year. And when you look around, first base, Manzardo's pulling out of it. Hoskins has been fine. He's not anything exorbitant, but he's fine. You feel good about second base. Rocchio's been great at short this year. He's finally looking to become a major league player. Obviously, you got Jose at third. Martinez has been great in the outfield. DeLauder's been great. Kwan is what it is right now. He's shown signs of life coming out of the bottom of the order. So, and they've already addressed catcher. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but they addressed catcher. They're not going to make another move there. So I don't know where there's an obvious move to make right now. That's why I said it's still early. Let's wait and see what this lineup looks like 2 months from now. Let's see if the rotation is still intact. But you got to feel really good about where they are right now as an organization. We talked about it briefly. Columbus is loaded right now with hitters. So they do have a lot of prospect potential yet still to come. But you got to feel really good about where you're at right now with them.
Started off Cavs, went to the Guardians. Coming up in a little bit, we get to the Browns, a little bit OTAs, and a little bit Mason Graham conversation. But before we get to that, McNuggets,